So, where do you find sources for hope? What keeps you going?
Oh, wow. Wow. Everywhere now. Um, One of the things I've had to do is abandon, to some extent, abandon the external world.
Abandon what?
Abandon the external world. Instead of, oh, we got to change the world, we got to change this, we got to change that. I guess for many years, but certainly the last 10, I've just been focused on healing myself.
Uh-huh.
I've come to see that the more that I heal my rage and shame and fear and pain, the more that the world changes. Because the external world is a projection. All of it is a projection from the collective, call it collective unconscious, to use the Jungian word. So we create the world in our own image to some greater or lesser extent. And as I have healed my own stuff, forgiven my father, forgiven my mother, forgiven whole bunches of people, I have come to be more gentle, more kind, even more empathic, if that was even possible, and more forgiving. And I can't say that I'm a saint or I forgive everybody, everything, but I really work at forgiving. And it's hard sometimes, forgiving the world, if you want to call it that, because I'm not focused on, I don't get swayed by elections or wars or blah, blah, anywhere near like I used to, because I don't invest in them. And part of it came to when I ran into the wall and I said, there's nothing I can do to change it. I can't stop war. I can't stop political corruption. So I've had to become an icon for what I believe in. I've had to become a stalwart messenger of love and hope and clarity and gentleness and kindness and empathy. So I represent that. That's how I feel about, and I bring it into my daily life. And every single person I have contact with comes away with some sense of connection, even if it's just for a few hours or whatever. I work with a lot of people. I do a lot of pro bono, and one of the things I really work with a lot is Charles Whitford wrote the original book, I believe it was in about 82, about inner child work. And then Bradshaw wrote the book Homecoming, about championing your inner child. Yeah. And it was a really significant piece somewhere along the line for me, was to find out, that I could champion myself. I didn't have to continuously be at the effect of shame and depression and worry and fear and et cetera, but that I could stand for myself. I could stand for my inner self and say, no mas, I don't have to put up with this any longer. And I went through a whole period of being, really angry. It's one of the things I always ask depressed people. They go, I really want to get rid of my depression. And I'll say, no, you don't want to get rid of your depression. That's like getting rid of yourself. Depression is a symptom. It arises as an attempt to heal pain. I said, but what? So I say, well, are you willing to be angry? Well, I'm not an angry person. No, I didn't ask that. I said, are you willing to become angry? Because I have found over time with, I don't know, hundreds anyway, maybe thousands of patients or clients, that one of the first things that happens when they start being a little bit less depressed is that anger starts rising. Because, depression really is anger turned inward. So they become perpetrative of themselves. And so what happens is when you start to get healthy, you stop perpetrating yourself, and you have to release the anger. You have to ultimately forgive yourself. But the initial step is to start feeling what you really feel.